Hello. So I actually didn't want to make a video again, but yeah, somehow I kind of had the following idea. I got a Zoom H4N for recording, well, the loudspeakers and such. But as mentioned in the video of the binaural recording, it is. I mentioned that it is not a omnidirectional mic, so it doesn't pick up low end well enough. But I noticed today, actually, that the H4N is also an interface, an audio interface. So what I could do is actually measure the speakers with the recorder and compare it to my measuring mic and just adjust, adjust the things that are different. And then it's actually the frequency response of the measuring mic, except that is, of course, stereo. So I wanted to try that. I'm not sure if it works. For instance, well, I don't know. It might as well sound like shit, But I was listening to some music on the big planars, and actually they can play pretty loud and nice. I like them. I'm not sure why I was wandering into the monitor design thing. Well, I do know, but it's price-wise. But the other ones I like them more. So this is really dark, and not sure if I can boost this maybe, and if I can, then it looks like shit anyways. So let's see. Oh, wrong way. Something like this? I don't know. So there's my measuring mic and a tripod for, well, hopefully my H4N zoom. So, but I think it's wisely to first measure the measuring mic, and it's not, it's not like you're measuring loudspeakers. I mean, you don't do this at this distance, and especially not with the back wall as close as it is. But the only thing I want to try here is get as close as what you can, well, as what I hear when I'm sitting on the couch. And yeah, my room is not ideal, like most rooms. So let's see, I am gonna measure. Okay, so the settings are wrong. If it ever focuses. Yeah. So it's completely on auto now, it should work. I have to use the mask quite weirdly, but... So, output device is gonna be my Focusrite, but the input device is kind of the thing. For now, I want to use the Focusrite, and I want to use the calibration file for my mic, of course. It's something to keep in mention that I don't want to use it for the zoom. So that's okay. I'm gonna close this and I should be able to take a measurement. Output device, is something wrong with the output device? So let's take another look. Oh, it's default output device. No, I don't. I want the Focusrite as output device. Apparently it takes the zoom as well as output device. Something I don't want at all. Also, the zoom is capable of 48K, but I think I used 44.1, so I'm gonna use the Focusrite the same sample rate just to be sure, and just to make everything even. And well, we should be able to make a measurement of left plus right in this case, because I'm not looking at a frequency response of the speaker itself. I'm looking at a frequency response at my listening position with a lot of room noise, or well, not noise, but yeah, how do you call it? Room notes, actually. because I want to know how the frequency response is at the listening position at this moment, so I can adjust my recording according to that measurement. I'm really curious if this works. It doesn't take into account like delay and you know, like if my, you know, you hear like a slap delay, that will remain, of course, but it should be able to at least make the response a little bit better. I mean, I can at least adjust it accordingly. So let's see, left and right at a decent volume, maybe too loud actually. I mean, I don't need a very loud measurement because I don't think the speakers like that. Using the normal measuring mic and the Focusrite. So let's see. Some nice weird stuff you can hear. First of all, there's something vibrating, and secondly, in the upper frequency it kind of becomes weird. And that might be because my mini DSP is also in the mix at the moment. But anyhow, okay, so this is the response, and I'm curious what the zoom does in the response, because it doesn't pick up low end as good as a omnidirectional mic. So let's see. Preferences, the output will be the Focusrite still, the input will be the zoom in this case. Do I want to use the calibration file? No, because I'm not using that mic. So this is the zoom without calibration. That's good because, oh well, that's the way it is. Output left or right, timer. I'm not sure which mic it will take to take the measurement actually, but we'll see. So I'll close this and mount the mic in this dark spot. It's so dark you cannot see a thing. Ah, my cable is not long enough. Okay. So this is kind of a on-the-go tryout thingy. Now I want to see what I'm doing on the laptop, which is kind of a problem. Just shove it underneath this tripod and hopefully it will stay there. And we can move the camera. There's not enough room here. Okay, so, well, you might have an idea. I have to use the cursor as well in a kind of awkward way. Let's see, if it's still preferences, input device is back to default, it has to be the zoom. Come on, take the zoom. Maybe use the arrows? Nope. Oh yeah. Zoom, okay. Measure. It's the most awkward position ever. Okay, so it's way louder. Ah, so now we got something. I'll move it back. I will remove the zoom. So this is what we got. Is this visible? This is better, I think. Okay. So this tells, for me it tells a story right now. I'm gonna level it and I'm gonna choose the 1 kilohertz kind of as a benchmark of like loudness. So I'm gonna, apparently the Zoom recording was louder, so I'm gonna level it. It's quite a lot actually, really a lot, like 14.5 dB. And I'm gonna use some smoothing to make it easier to level them. And so I need to go more even, like this. Do you see the result? Yeah. So this is the result. Difference between a cardioid mic used by the Zoom and an omnidirectional mic used by the measuring mic. You can see the low end. Well, you cannot see the low end. That's the reason. That's the problem. So if I made a recording with the Zoom, this, especially around, well, the low end, like the 50 Hertz that is like really well pronounced usually, is 85 or 86 versus 69, so 15 dB down. No wonder why these recordings on this Zoom usually translated into not having the low end I perceived on the couch. When I was sitting on the couch, I heard a lot of low end, you know, like full blown low end. With the Zoom, well, not so much. As a matter of fact, I mentioned before that my room is quite boomy and bass heavy. Now, if I would tell you that there's a minus 8 dB on both loudspeakers in the DSP, just to make, you know, to balance it out here in my room. So that's, if you add it to this, whew, 24 dBs. Lower than not than I perceive it, but than they actually are. But it is 15 dBs lower than I perceive it if I'm sitting here. So no wonder that these videos, every time I watch them, it's like, it's not like that. And I even choose 1K. If I chose a little bit higher, it would be even more worse. I'm not sure here which one is correct, of course. By the looks of it, it has the Zoom H4N has slightly more top end. I mean, this is quite a difference. Well, on here, for instance, I'm not sure. This might be the benchmark, or the 1K I used. 1K is kind of, well, it's not in the middle, but it's the most common thing to use as a sort of benchmark. So, but if you would use this one, that is at 2.5K, yeah. Well, that would add another 5 dB to the low end. So the Zoom is 5 dB louder here. So if I match it to my measuring mic, it would be 5 dB lower. And that also means that my low end will be 5 dB lower, like here. And then the result is 70 versus, well, 80. Well, if you measure at resonance, it will be 68 versus 86. So yeah, 21 dBs, something like that. So okay, I cannot level it or like correct it completely. It's not gonna happen, but I can add, and it's funny, I think I did it before as well, but I can add like 15 dB with a slope from, yeah, 150 I believe. starts around here, 150, and then it's actually like 15 dB louder. 80 here and 60 there, so it's even more. It's 20 dB. The lower you go, the the bigger the problem. It might be because, I'm not sure, I'll check the settings, but I don't think I have a, I don't think there is like a high pass on this thing. But if it also has a high pass, then you're really fucked. I mean, then the problem of course becomes bigger and bigger, but I don't think I had a high pass. Should check that before I do anything. USB, audio interface. Oh, I have to connect. Okay, well, so it's hard to see, but I didn't hear any sound actually, but okay, there it is. Then we should be able to see the settings. Effect, well, is there any effect? On. Oh, effect is off. Okay, that's good. Tuner, what the fuck is tuner? Tuner. Okay, so that's for instruments to tune them. Not needed. Monitor off. Phantom on. Okay, that's good. Plug-in off. Don't know what that means. And you can disconnect. Okay, so that's like that. Those are the interface options. So let's disable it. Then it should be, get the fuck out of this menu. Is there an option? Goodbye. Now let's look at the mic settings, because if there's a high pass, that would be quite annoying as well. Pretty sure it's not. Input. Low cut. Mic off. Input off. So no low cut. What else is there? Mono mix off. MS matrix is off. So no, there is not a high pass or a low cut, whatever how you call it, but it should just, you know, record the stuff you will, what you hear actually. So, but this curve is really nice for me if I want to record with this thing again, which I will. I can like compensate for it. I don't have a program that like instantly correct everything. It's not gonna happen, but I can adjust this. And I might be even thinking that this one should be lower even, so there is even more low end gone. And another thing is that it looks like there is some sort of low cut, but I should take a look at the specs of the zoom, because you know, this looks like, yeah, this is rising and this is falling off. So either, I'm not so sure. It is quite a heavy amount of difference. It doesn't look like much, but it's 20 dB spacing, so let me zoom in for you. 10 dB, 5 dB. This and this, quite a difference. So no wonder that there was no low end in the recordings. I could level even this, but I'm not sure how, it's not gonna be correct. I know for the top end, the thing is, as you may see, the mics are XY. So this mic is pointing like exactly onto the speaker, and this one exactly onto the other speaker. These speakers should be like, if you're listening normally in the middle of the room, you're off axis of both those speakers. So this huge peak here is not as huge. And that's where the omnidirectional does a better job. Because it's not, well, it is like, this one is like sort of zooming in on axis, and these speakers, you're never listen to them on directly on axis. So this is way lower. But for low frequencies, since the wavelength is so large, it doesn't really matter which mic you use. So this is a real difference. This one I'm not so sure, but this is. So that's cool. So I'm just for fuck's sake, I'm gonna record another song for fun, and I'm gonna implement this curve, and that's quite a lot. I'm not even sure if my equalizer in the program can manage to do this. I might have to like stack equalizers to add almost 20 or more dBs in the low end. God knows. So yeah, it's funny to see. Well, see you in the next video where I maybe recorded some music. Who knows?